because we can all be theater kids.
Exactly. And I was going to ask you, how would you define a theater kid?
Oh my gosh, a theater kid is very simple. It's a person who loves theater, who has a passion for participating in theater or going to theater.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But it's a person who thinks theater is essential to their lives.
In talking about some of your productions, you say you want to expand the audience as much as you can. Do you feel like in your memoir you're doing the same thing?
We're going to find out. I don't know yet, but I wrote this for anyone who has ever felt like an outsider, for people who feel like they don't belong, that they don't fit in. And I have found through my experience that more people have had that feeling going through life than I ever expected.
Absolutely. And so you've talked about how it was hard growing up in Detroit, and you talk about Cardboard Village. And so how is it redefining what that means to you, redefining the feeling you get when you say that now versus when you were a kid?
When kids would ask, do you live in the village, meaning Cardboard Village? Let me stop there and say, why did they say Cardboard Village? Because our houses were the teeny houses built on concrete slabs. Because our houses were the houses that didn't have basements, that had one teeny tiny bathroom, and that were built with the tar shingles that you usually saw on the roof and not bricks. And kids would make fun of us. And it made me ashamed. And it made me embarrassed. And I felt like my whole life I was always trying to escape from Cardboard Village, even after I graduated from high school, even after I graduated from the University of Michigan. And that's why I lead off the book with the first two words, Cardboard Village, because I'm going to exercise that shame. I'm going to exercise that embarrassment once and for all.
Why is that important to do for generations to come, to show them that you can do that?
Because all of us want to live our most full, whole, WHOLE, joyous lives. And when we have that stuff from our childhood that brings us shame and embarrassment or anger, it interferes with our ability to live our fullest life.
Absolutely. And so we're going to be on a time machine in this interview. So we go from Detroit to Times Square, and you have this completely different experience. What has encouraged you along this journey?
What always has encouraged me are the magical musicals that have defined my life. From going to see A Chorus Line when I was 13 years old, to going to see Evita when I was 16 years old, and from going to see Dreamgirls when I was 17 years old. These are the musicals that made me go, when I'm in a musical, I am happier than at any other stage of my life, at any other place in my life. Mm-hmm. So I want to participate in making the best musicals we can possibly make. And then, of course, 10 years after I moved to New York, I produced Rent.
Mm-hmm. And so, great place to start. So, Rent to now, if you can tell Jeffrey producing Rent something from the Jeffrey standing in front of me today, what would you say?
The Jeffrey that was producing Rent was relentless. The Jeffrey that was producing Rent had no patience. The Jeffrey that was producing Rent had to have it done, and he had to have it done now. And everything had to be decided now. And the Jeffrey that's now sitting here with 10-year-old Hamilton celebrating its 10th anniversary so often says, okay, let's think about that. You know what I say now that I never used to say? Take no action. Meaning, wait. Wait until it settles. Wait until we can see better and hear better, and then we'll make a better decision.
Yeah, and finally, we're at SCAD, where this is the next generation of storytellers.
Yes.
How do you explain to, college students, wait, patience? Because it's very hard to get through at that age.
It is, and Lord knows, as I said, I didn't have it when I was a student at the University of Michigan. But this is what I say to young artists. and young producers of artists. Go make art with your friends. If you are a theater artist, you need those collaborators. Of course, if you're a painter or a sculptor or a graphic artist, you need to do it on your own. But go make stuff and don't obsess about where you want to get. Just focus on what you're doing now. Go make a great play now. Don't think about the industry. Go make a great painting now. Don't think about the armory show. Think about what you need to make right now. And it's okay to obsess on that, but don't obsess about where you need to go. Obsess about where you are.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to add?
That's pretty good.
All right.